particularly if you're using the reel in order to get, like, increase your speaking fee. You need to speak to me as an organizer. What are you going to do for me? What is the key message that you bring that's a little bit different? Show me what your style is and what your flair is. And once you know who the organizer is and what you bring, then the main key thing in creating a great show reel is curation, 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 curation. And this is the bit where most people cock up. And the reason they cock up normally is because they haven't even stopped to think who they're curating for. So they slam a bunch of footage together and they haven't thought about, look, it's as much about what you leave out as it is about what you put into a reel. And unless you're clear on what the objective is in terms of who it is that you're targeting, then you're likely to throw a whole bunch of stuff in there is actually not going to add any value at all. And so therefore, you end up with a reel, which I just call a snooze fest. And this is the problem that my latest client has. She's literally spent thousands on her reel. Like, she's got a great videographer, spent thousands on the reel. And like, I know it's bad when I'm looking at the reel and 30 seconds in, I'm bored. And I'm bored because I've done that thing where, you know what it's like, right? I've done that thing where I've started watching it and then I find my finger slipping up on the mouse so that I can see how long the thing is, right? And I've seen 3-minute reels before where I've been hooked till the end. I was bored. In the first 30 seconds, it was like, samey, 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 samey. Furthermore, got to the end of it, didn't tell me who she was, didn't tell me who she spoke about. It was a wonderful coach demonstrating what she does, but there was no story. It wasn't curated for a specific audience. I, as an organizer, couldn't assess what she does because it didn't tell me what she spoke about and who she was. It didn't give me any of her social proof or credentials. There was no story directed for me. It had no testimonials directed specifically for me. I was like, this is a wonderful speaker. She does events. Nice. So it was not that the video footage was terrible. She has excellent quality video footage. It's not that it was put together terribly. She has a phenomenal video editor. The problem was the content wasn't curated. And it wasn't curated because she was looking at the wrong audience. For a start, as a coach, she's used to who her clients are, which is typically the audience members. So all of the message was for the audience members, which didn't tell me what I was going to get from it. I'm not buying your coaching program. I'm buying you as a speaker. So what are you going to do for me? Right? So if you go into a reel and you don't know anything about event organizers, you don't know anything about who it is that books you, you don't know what is of interest to them, you don't know who you're up against, you're just missing opportunities left, right, and center. And it's why most DIY reels, and by DIY, I'm going to be clear, DIY is a reel that you're doing without any professional consultation. That is DIY. I can tell you it's why they take really long. And a video editor, having a professional quality video editor, is still doing it DIY. Why? Because unless you're working with a video editor who fully understands the speaking industry, how the piss do you think they're going to help you create a show reel that gets you booked? And that's normally what the problem is. You don't know what to put in. You don't know what to leave out. You don't know how to tell the story for the audience because you don't know what they're looking for. You barely know who they are. So like, secret number 5 is you got to curate the heck out of it, which means that if you're doing this yourself, firstly, like, speak to a lot of people or have somebody consult to support you. This is why I've got my most recent client, because she tried to DIY it with a professional videographer and it still wasn't hitting the spot because she knows who she wants to target and she knew it wasn't targeted for that person. And the problem is, it's not I can tell you like, put this in and put that out, take that out. It's what you choose to put in which order. My first reel took me 9 edits, painfully took me 9 edits. And I swear to God, I think I was one of the lucky ones. And the only reason I got away with it, I'll tell you what happened. I did the first version. I sent it out to a whole bunch of people. And everybody bar one told me it was rubbish. Told me it was fabulous, sorry. I looked at it and I wasn't quite 100% sure. And I loved the editing. The videographer had like put lots of stuff in and out. And I was like, this is cool. And I kind of watched it end to end and I thought, this isn't going to do the job. Showed it to my husband. I showed it to 4 or 5 different people. They're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Then I showed it to a speaker booker and she said, no, bitch, ain't going to work. It's not going to work. And it's not going to work because it doesn't answer this, 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 and this. It's not going to work because it's too much like this. In my case, all it did was show me going, hey, 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 which is part of what I do, but it didn't show the breadth of my personality. It didn't take into account that I'm dealing with male organizers predominantly who are hiring me. And so therefore I need to take that into account. I hadn't really sold myself because I really didn't think about, you know, making sure that I put all the best bits of who I am like up front. And so the main thing with doing a really great reel, honestly, is about how well you curate the content based on the insights of the industry. So you need to understand who pay, like, especially if you're looking for a gig to get you paid, you need to understand who pays. You need to understand what your message is that's a little bit different, right? So it's not about the story you want to tell in your background. The organizer really couldn't give two shits about who you are and what your story is and all of that blah, blah. They honestly couldn't care. What they're interested in is, I'm putting on this big event and I'm bringing these people together in order to show them X. How the hell is adding you into the equation going to enhance my event? That's what they're interested in. They want to know that they're not taking a punt and they're not taking a chance on some unknown name. And so at a high level, when you're curating your showreel, it should tell people who you are. The easiest way of doing this is make sure you have your name in it and make sure you have what the heck it is that you talk about. Like, that's normally like just the easiest thing to do. Honestly, I've got to the end of reels and there's no name, there's no contact information, it doesn't tell me what you talk about, or it just has a name, but it doesn't explicitly tell me what you talk about. Furthermore, whatever it is you say you talk about, be consistent. Don't then start throwing in other things. Okay, I'm the sales consultant, and now I can hear things, unless you set it up, now I can hear like you talking about other messages that seem unrelated to the core thing. Leave that out. Pick a message, pick a framework for your audience, and be consistent. Like, everything you put in, every last piece of content in your reel should add value. And this is why great reels take time. So I must have spent like, God, I thought it was going to take me an hour. I probably sat down for about 3 or 4 hours today, like literally picking out step by step what goes into the reel. Because when I'm working with an editor to create a show reel, I will tell them timestamps of which clips to go in. And those timestamps are based upon literally looking at it and going, does this add or is this the same? Like, if it's not adding anything extra or different dimension or something different, we just need to like keep that shit moving, like roll on by next. Right? So if you've got any questions, please ask me. I'm just checking my thingy to make sure. Which brings me to the next thing. The details count. So down to the order in which you put things in. Think of it as, so the same way that if you think of it this way, your show reel is like a commercial for you. And so if somebody had come to you and said, can you do this commercial for like nappies? And you don't know anything about the baby industry, you don't have any kids, you don't have sold into it. Like, how the heck are you going to do a commercial effectively for that industry? And doing a reel is no different, because without the industry insights, you don't know what to put in. And what you want to do, the order and the detail matter, because what you want to do is slowly build a story. Right? So you want to build the momentum up as you're going, such that by the end of it, each thing that drops is like, oh, sexy. By the end of it, like, her, that's who I want. That's the woman that I need. And the reason most reels go wrong is not because of the editor, but because of not because of the production value of the editor, but without a director, then what you're doing is you're asking an editor to direct, and they don't know how to direct, and they don't know what they're pulling together.